time to go down to the basement. Take that VHS out of its sleeve and get ready for some fright.
Welcome. Pull up a seat with Mikey and Maddie, and don't forget to turn off the lights, because you are now alone in the dark.
Welcome, everyone, to the Alone in the Dark podcast, and welcome to episode 100. If you're the first time you're listening, you have just entered the 100th episode here with us, and it's been quite a road, Mike.
100 episodes, man.
It's been quite a road, hasn't it, Mike?
I see what you did there. That's
all
excellent.
Right, yeah. So, Mike, we're streaming this podcast so people can actually watch it, right?
Yeah, we're recording it with video, so this is going to be on Spotify. If you want to, you can watch it on your phone or your computer, and also we are going to post this on YouTube as well. So this episode, it'll also be an audio podcast. So if you like the old-fashioned way of listening to a podcast via audio, you can do that. But we're doing, since we have this cool setup here.
It's beautiful.
How's everybody like our setup? I worked really hard on it, and Matt, donated this cool little witch up there, and yeah, we're excited. So we're going to definitely do more video podcasts for you guys when we can. And this is the first one. So we're super
excited. First
psyched.
one. So,
yeah.
Mike, episode 100. Let's not wait to get another second here. Mm-hmm. Episode 100, Christine.
Let's do it.
Her name's Christine.
I like that. What is it about that car, huh? Maybe it's just that for the first time in my life, I found something that's uglier than me.
Why do you keep butting into my life?
What do you know about that car?
Talking about Christine, man!
Talking about Christine, man. So, Mike, let's get into the nostalgia of the film here.
Let's do it.
The video store. The old theater with the sticky floor and the best popcorn. Your grandma's basement. Be kind and rewind back to the time and place when you first experienced this horror classic.
Matt, so when was the first time? Well, this came out in 1983,
December 9th,
December of
yep.
1983, which is funny because we always talk about, for me, this is like my film
back to
habits.
school, yeah.
This is like my film habits for September. I have to watch this movie every September.
You've said that forever
How
since
about
I've
you?
known you. Yeah, well, you converted me. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I've been
So
doing
now
it
it's-
since you've been expressing your love so openly about it. I definitely do it now.
Right.
Sure.
Good. Okay. So when was the first time you saw this movie?
So I saw this on video. This was not a Mikey D movie. I didn't see it with my best buddy Mike. For those of you listening, Mikey D, for the first time here, Mikey D is a friend of mine who basically, I watched every movie too soon, way too early at his house. I used to go sleepovers and just got polluted at his house.
All the movies your parents wouldn't let you watch.
Exactly.
You would sneak over there and see it. Yep.
So this was one that we watched probably in like 87, 88. I watched it with my little brother Jay. Probably saw it in VHS at home. I definitely read the book before I saw the movie.
Did you really?
Yeah. So here's a funny story. I read this when I went to the first time I went to visit my dad when he was living in Rome, Italy, dude.
Oh my God.
His balcony of his place overlooked his soccer field. I'll never forget. 1985, dude. Summer of 85.
Wow.
Right? So the book was out like 2 years.
Yeah.
I think the soft cover had just come out, the paperback, and I was reading it on the balcony, and I was 11 years old, dude. I'll never forget.
That's 11 years old,
Yeah.
and you're reading
I'm
through
reading
Christine.
Yeah.
Wow.
What about you, man? Do you remember the first time you saw it?
So this was definitely a film that I don't think I watched. I don't think it was like a rental from West Coast Video. I think I discovered this and really got into it in college when I was really heavily into John Carpenter after getting the Halloween Laserdisc.
Oh, yeah.
And listening to that commentary and just deep diving into film and in Carpenter movies and just being like, I've got to like see every
gotta hit 'em
Carpenter
all.
movie.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's when I really kind of did a deep dive into Carpenter and discovered Christine and watched the movie and was just blown away by so many things that we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the tagline, how do you kill something that can't possibly be alive? I'm not a real big fan of that. Personally, I like Body by Plymouth, Soul by Satan.
Yeah.
That's way better.
That's pretty awesome.
King would have approved.
Yes, absolutely.
So, this, like I said, this was December 9th. What's interesting about this, we talked about the book, Mike. This movie actually filmed before the hardback even hit bookshelves.
Yes, this was like sold while King still has it as a manuscript, correct?
Yep, it wasn't released until April 22nd, and the movie filmed. Basically, it shot the whole entire thing and filmed like right as it hit the shelves. It finished production, like it was already in the can.
That's amazing.
So that's crazy.
So cool.
Directed and scored, of course, by our dude Carpenter. Made for just under 10 mil, which are you surprised by that?
I'm a little surprised for some of the effects that they have going on in here. Just by that alone, there wasn't like any like huge actors in this. We'll talk about some of them.
Some of the in-camera effects.
Yeah, so some in-camera effects.
Yeah.
That's I don't know how they did it on the cheap like that, but this is some of the best practical effects we'll talk about when we get to scenes that I've seen in a horror movie, especially from the 80s.
Yeah, it didn't make, at the box office, I think it only made a little over 20 mil. It wasn't a big, overwhelming success that everyone thought it was. I mean, listen, I'm going to pick a bone with our friend, Mr. Stephen King. He's my favorite author. I mean, I proclaim my love for him.
You're obsessed.
Everywhere. But I have a bone to pick with him. He said in 2003, I may just be the most adapted novelist in modern times. Yeah, that's really modest there, Stevie. I don't say that with pride so much as with a kind of stunned bemusement. Several honorable adaptations have come from this 30-year spew of celluloid. So he's saying there's been a glut of my movies, right? The best of those have had a few of the elements I'm best known for: science fiction, fantasy, gross-out moments. The books do have these elements, and by and large become the films that are either forgettable or embarrassing. Listen to this. Others, I'm thinking chiefly of Christine and The Shining. Hello, Mr. King.
Yeah.
Should have been good.
Right.
This is what he said. These are not my words.
Yeah,
these are Stephen King's words.
Yeah.
Christine should have been good, and The Shining should have been good. Well, they just aren't.
Jeez.
They're actually sort of boring.
What?
Speaking for myself, I'd rather have bad than boring.
Oh my gosh.
So it is true. Stephen King actually has some flaws. Let's discuss his flaws here, Mike.
Yeah.
Taste for one. Shitting on Christine makes Stephen King kind of a shitter, doesn't it?
He's definitely a shitter for sure.
I mean, Arnie has to take him out.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's in the path of Christine for sure.
I mean, I'm mad at you, bro. Like, how do you do? Like, what we do know, Mike, is Carpenter has very, very outspokenly, kind of like, he was going to direct Firestarter, as we know. The thing bombed.
Yep.
So they said, we're going to recalibrate this.
Yep.
He needed a job, technically.
Yeah, so this wasn't like a passion project for him.
No.
This was just a paycheck,
Nope.
basically.
He read the book because he needed a job. Mark Lester took the Firestarter job. He had time on his hands. So here, I think it chaps Stephen King's ass that he hears Carpenter say, I think I only took this movie because I needed a job. And I think he gets back at him by saying, that's boring.
It's a little
it's
boring,
not that great. They blew it,
Wow.
But come on, dude. Why do these guys have beef? Kubrick and King. Carpenter and King.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that he was bitter because they changed the novel so much? Because the novel's all from Dennis's perspective,
It
correct?
is. It is. But you have to understand, as you know, as a filmmaker, Mike, I mean, they have to make it more
Well, yeah, you have
entertaining to the
yeah,
audience.
And there's no book that translates
What are you going to have
perfectly
monologues
to a
the whole
film.
time, right?
Yeah.
That would have been crazy.
Right. And it's not as scary, right? If it's all from Dennis's perspective, there's a lot you can't show on film, right?
Because you're seeing things through his eyes, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's limiting, and
Right.
King should have known. But again, this is
It's like following Myers in Halloween 2018.
oh, God, here we go. Yeah, we'll get
From
to that.
street to street, it's a street. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, so let's talk about the settings of the film, Maddie. You ready to get into it?
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it.
An isolated farmhouse, a summer camp, maybe a musty old attic or a dark basement, perhaps. Let's visit some of the spooky settings from the film.
So Matt, this town, what do you think of this town that Arnie and Dennis live in?
So it's obviously California, right?
It is California, but it has a real like Middletown, like Middletown, New Jersey, like where we grew up. It's got this like small town America.
It does.
It could be in the middle of the country. It could be New Jersey. It could be anywhere, but it doesn't give me California vibes.
No, but Arnie's house is literally down the street from the Halloween location.
I know,
in
which
South
is so
Pasadena,
cool. I love that.
Crazy.
But that's what's so great. The original Halloween, that's where you get vibes of that. It's supposed to be like Illinois, right? So it's pretty crazy how Carpenter knows how to pick these spots that looks like any town USA.
He does. You're right. There's no palm trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely did a good job. I mean, obviously Van Nuys High School, Calabasas High School. That's where Dennis has that real bad football injury.
Yes.
So he filmed everything over there, Santa Clarita, where the Mobico gas station was, where Buddy and his buddies get off.
Yes.
So just crazy. And Pasadena, dude. I mean, how can you not love? And by the way, where Moochie's death is,
yes,
that has to be the same bridge as Halloween 3, isn't it?
It's got to be,
it
right?
Has to be.
It has to
in
be.
the beginning when Ellie's dad is running.
Oh yes,
it has to be.
That has to be it, right? I thought of that. I made a note of that too because I was like, this has to be Halloween.
That's
3.
like a destination for me. I gotta go. I gotta find that.
I know. That's so cool. Which I'm sure it looks so different now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So anything else with settings, Mike?
It's kind of tough because the
shop class.
The shop class is cool. The high school is cool. I love where Moochie gets killed. You know what I mean? That whole back area there with those back roads and stuff is kind of cool.
Looks like maybe industrial parkish.
Yeah, it's very well. It kind of makes sense that's probably where Halloween was filmed.
Yeah.
I love the gas station where we'll talk about that scene when we get to scenes. But that gas station is like in the middle of nowhere. It's like
I was expecting the guy to say, "I just brought him here." The attendant from Halloween 3.
Yes, exactly. That gas station's cool because it's like when you think of California, you think everything's on top of each other. But this gas station's like in the boonies kind of, and it's kind of has like a cool like sort of mysterious vibe. Where when we talk about scenes, the scene that comes after that is literally in the middle of nowhere.
The drive-in movie's awesome.
Going on.
That location's great.
Oh my god, I forgot. The drive-in movie. We got to talk about that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's great.
It's unforgettable.
Yeah.
I miss it. I'm so nostalgic. We're obviously not talking about nostalgia anymore. We're going to talk about the whole thing is nostalgia.
It
right?
is, yeah.
I mean, miss it so much. That stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
But why don't we get into the best and scariest scenes in the movie, Mike?
Let's do it.
Here are some scenes that will make your hair stand on end. They made Maddie's fall out completely.
So starts with the revving engine over black.
Yeah.
I mean, that is ridiculous. And then I'm curious, how do you feel about the Bad to the Bone needle drop?
I like the song. I think it fits. I don't know if it fits in the scene because it's supposed to be in the 50s,
It's
right?
supposed to take place in 1950s. It's obviously on the assembly line, right?
Right.
The Fury in 1958.
Yeah.
So,
I get that
strange.
the song is very on the nose for this movie. It's perfect for that.
It is.
But it doesn't. It's like weird that
It came out in '82, technically, which is like before the actual film, which would have married it up. But it's you're right. It should have. But then quickly, it's followed by a.
Well, yeah. Then it gets into some 50s music. You know what I mean?
Not Fade Away.
Yep.
By
exactly.
Buddy Holly, right? After the guy gets his hand crushed, and falls dead out of Christine.
Yep.
What's awesome is you have 3 songs. You had Bad to the Bone, right after the revving engine. You're into Bad to the Bone. Goes right into Not Fade Away by Buddy Holly.
Yes.
And then
right into
to
the
Not Fade Away.
version.
Yes. Modern in 1978.
Well,
Her 78 cover, Tanya Tucker's
Yes.
cover of Not Fade Away, and he pulls up in his own muscle car.
Yes.
Which is a blue Dodge Charger, late 60s model. No dialogue, Mike, but think about that intro. Again,
So cool.
Carpenter's a master how he gets us into this movie.
I know. It's pretty cool. He hooks you right from the beginning. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the opening scene not in the book?
It's not.
The car.
It is not.
Yeah. The car factory's not in there.
No.
Right. It
But
just
again, it's a way to
introduce that Christine's evil. And,
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
totally.
Yep.
So
Totally.
that leads us to, and we're looking at him on the screen right now. Buddy taking Arnie's lunch, Mike.
Yes.
What do you think about that scene? We always talk about this scene.
This scene is the most quotable scene. We'll get into quotes. This is the scene that when I watch this movie every September, I get excited to see. It sets up the beginning of school. It sets up this awesome bully moment. Buddy Repperton is like such a dick, dude. But
Moochie
he's
grabbing Dennis's balls.
Oh my God! Like, have you ever had that done to you, like when you were a kid?
Mike, this scene has something the whole family can enjoy. I mean, just what they call it was what Buddy calls them. I mean, you got to be kidding me.
Yes.
This is like X-rated. Like we're dancing on the edge of.
I know.
lewdness here, but it's so fantastic.
But it fits so well.
Yeah.
And the fact that Dennis has to go save the day, comes in. Buddy steps on his glasses. It's great. The stabbing of the yogurt, and it's like,
oh yeah. Somebody, and I wish I had his name. I think he DM'd us on one of our pictures or something.
Okay.
And he said something about like, how can you just bring if you have yogurt, why do you just have a paper bag only? Like, really? Like, you can bring a paper bag?
Well, I
with
love
yogurt?
the mom is like, keep that cold. Like, how's he going to keep that
What?
cold in a paper bag?
Yeah.
Like the possibilities of that, it's never going to stay cold. That yogurt is way gone by the time he eats lunch.
Mr. Casey, I mean, go to the office, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's really got a firm hand on the discipline, right?
When Buddy goes to walk away and he like slaps the
Oh,
thing.
that's-
You need a fuck.
You both. Oh, it's fantastic. Like
It's
I said,
the best.
The whole family can enjoy it.
I love it.
Arnie and
Great
Lee
scene.
at the drive-in, dude.
Okay. Awesome scene. The rain. Do you think the rain was on purpose, or do you think they just got hit with that rain when they were filming?
I
They're
am
like, let's go
curious.
with it.
It
Well, no,
almost
it had
seems
to be
like
because the wipers. It had to be. So maybe it was supposed to be raining in that scene. Because I always thought that was odd. I'm like, why? But then I totally forgot about the
I
wiper.
just think Carpenter, honestly, to me, just shows his directing chops in this scene so well.
Yeah.
The when with Lee choking, with the lighting.
Oh my God, the light.
Cuts.
Yeah.
Where when she's choking, I talked about this before too, how the camera pulls out and over when the guy pulls her out the other side of the car.
Yes.
It is just beautifully
It's
crafted.
awesome.
It's just
Yeah.
sculpted, man. It's beautiful. It's so amazing.
So good. So good. Moochie's kill. We kind of talked about it. We talked about the location of Halloween 3. That chase. Christine chases him after he gets dropped off. Who's dropping him off, by the way? It's so random. It's almost like he's like doing favors in the backseat of someone's car or something like that. It was really weird.
Again, another like Carpenter moment. Like if you can, I don't know, the detractors of this movie who say it's not good and it's not, but it is so well
Oh my God, it's
directed
amazing.
and made. It's Moochie's death scene is a perfect example because the way the lights flick on in the distance when Moochie's walking,
Yeah.
and the music starts and the car doesn't start speeding, it just creeps out.
I love when he's like, Cunningham, is that you?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it is.
And
And when
you-
he sees how the shape that she's in, because let's go back for a second, Mike.
Yes.
We talked about that. I mean, obviously, when it keeps going after him and
Yes.
to its own destruction.
Oh, yeah.
Until
Yeah.
he's dead.
Yeah.
But why does that happen? Because Buddy and his gang trash Christine.
Yes, and that's a great scene as well. Not as good as the show me scene, but
No, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But like, let's talk about the Buddy scene and the trashing of Christine because it's brutal.
it's so brutal.
To me, there's subtext to this scene. Carpenter, I think, is really trying to say something personal, and I could be way off on this, but just give me a second here. So he came off the thing, like personal
Yeah.
triumph.
Yeah.
He felt so good about
He
it,
was so pumped about it.
and
so
yet,
proud of it.
in a baffling twist of fate, like commercial and critical failure.
And most filmmakers would have called it quits at that moment. And said, "I'm done."
Probably.
Yeah.
Right? And then there you go. You get this pedestrian, what he deemed to be pedestrian material, a killer car, what? I need
Yeah.
a job. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Right.
But I think this is Carpenter's screw you, right? Okay? And his career. Like, Carpenter is responding like, you can leave me for dead. Same way you left Christine. Like, them bashing it is them the critics bashing
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
To
that's
me.
like him taking it out.
Right?
Yeah. That kind of
So-
makes sense.
I'm going to make Christine come back sleeker, stronger, ready to run you over with
Right.
my next film. Oh, yeah, well, I'm about to kill a car, but wait till you see what I do with this,
Yeah.
right? Now, I also understand the need for boys to act bad, like they're bad boys in school.
Yeah.
But what did Arnie do to deserve
Right.
this kind of just anger and just,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You want Arnie to fear you, right?
Yeah.
You're bullies. You got to instill fear. I get that. But they're in such a heightened state of rage. Like, did Arnie like kill somebody they loved? Did he like? Is there somebody, a family member that died because Buddy like gutted him or something?
No.
I
nothing.
just don't know. Like,
He didn't do any of that. He was just Arnie.
I mean, I know they're threatened by Arnie because look, he's got newfound confidence.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's got a beautiful car. He's got Lee.
Yep.
So it's like,
The
how
hottest girl in
dare
school,
you,
the
right?
new girl, yep.
Who do you think you are, dude?
Yeah.
This is like. By the way, my apologies to Alexandra Paul who plays Lee, but I personally think that Kelly Preston is the hottest girl honors in this
God,
movie. She's
yes.
young, she's absolutely beautiful. God rest her soul. She was
Yeah. I know. She just passed away.
fairly recently.
Yeah.
But man, they trash this. I've never seen this the extent of. They just want to they want to trash it. It's Carpenter saying this is the critics that the way they bashed the thing,
Yep.
and it's like. I know I'm a piece of crap.
Right.
And this is what I'm always going to be a piece of crap
Yeah.
because this is how I'm going to be treated.
Matt, how do you shit on somebody's dashboard?
Dude, there's a scene. So we'll talk about that later. But there is a scene. They filmed.
They did?
Yes, there is an outtake,
Okay.
an extra scene where Moochie is dumping on the dashboard.
Really?
Yes.
Is he on the hood or is he in the car?
I think he's on the hood.
Okay, so
'Cause
that
at
makes
that point,
sense.
it's like
because the windows.
destroyed.
I get it. The window's broken, and he was probably okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how
No,
do you?
because there's no windshield there.
Right.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, how do you do that from in the car? Like,
No,
I was like, how,
that's talent.
on the seat, sure.
Angles.
But yeah. I guess, yeah.
Moochie doesn't look like an athletic guy.
Projectile. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh.
So then you have to talk. If you talk about them trashing Christine, you have to talk about them finding Arnie and Lee finding Christine
Yes.
trashed. I mean, this starts off with this. This is the most affectionate you see Arnie in the whole entire movie.
Oh my
They're
God.
standing
They're
outside.
talking about college
I
and
forgot.
everything.
Yes, I
Yes.
forgot my wallet in there.
Yeah.
Like, even after almost choking and dying, here she is showing, "I love you, Arnie. I'm gonna give this a shot because
yeah.
I love you," and making future plans. Let's apply to the same college. On a dime, when Arnie sees Christine, he squeezes her hand so hard that she's
Yes.
like, "Ow!"
Yes.
And dude, what's amazing is the level of concern he should have shown her after her near-death experience.
Oh, yeah.
He instead showers it on Christine.
Oh yeah.
And that is like the most tragic. This is like the tragic turn. This is like
It is.
Beth
This
level
is
shit.
this is when he's not coming back.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Precisely.
Yep.
There's no coming back.
Yeah.
He is absorbed into,
And he's-
from this point on,
Yeah, he
evil
stepped
Arnie.
over the edge. He's evil Arnie. Yep.
It's crazy.
He even
Screaming to
calls
get
her
away.
shitter. Like he
Yes.
calls her shitter. So it's like basically he's totally lost.
It's
it.
the last remains of the kind Arnie. And it's so sad, man.
Yep.
It's so incredibly sad. So the show me scene, Mike, the show me.
Oh my God.
Good Lord.
It's amazing. The shots in this, the effects, but that first wide shot with you and I know a lot of people are listening to this that are fans of Christine are in awe of this shot. When those headlights first come on and that silhouette of Arnie standing there, it's like one of my favorite shots.
It is incredible. The lighting.
Yeah.
It's Stanley Kubrick-like.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is incredible.
Yeah.
I want to mention the needle drop Harlem Nocturne by the Viscounts. It's this hypnotic two-note bass line, and then you hear that smoky saxophone. I've always contended that this is a striptease scene.
It's
Christine
definitely-
is stripping by rebuilding herself.
Yeah.
And it's that sexy saxophone.
Oh, yeah.
Arnie's completely and utterly wah. He has got major wood. He's in full-on lust for Christine.
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
You mentioned Moochie's death scene. How about Buddy's death scene?
Oh my God, yeah. That's like that scene is amazing because
The lead-up is amazing.
the lead up is great because Christine is going nuts, just taking
Yes.
driving through the garage like.
But even before that, the 4 minutes of adrenaline, like the way he's following them in the car.
Yes,
But then, like you said, he's smashing. Yes, it's crazy
it's
level.
just insane.
Stunts.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But once Buddy is on the street and he's walking, and Christine is
Engulfed in flames.
engulfed in flames. That is
After the explosion of the garage and Vandenberg and his
God,
friends all
yes.
getting smashed to bits.
It's amazing. It's such a great shot, and then all you see is Buddy just like
just
on-
a heaping,
yeah.
flaming pile of nothing.
Yeah, on the ground. It's just like brutally killing someone that you hate and despise. Whether it was Christine and Arnie in the scene, it's pretty brutal. Can I jump back for a second?
Yeah, of course.
There's a scene that I like to mention. I always throw one of these in there, Matt. This is one of those nostalgic scenes that like always stick out to me, and it's such like a story scene for me.
Yeah.
After Arnie buys Christine and Mom and Dad, Mrs. Cunningham, we'll talk about her when we get to characters.
Oh, yeah.
When he has to go to Darnell's and then they're coming back, Dennis and Arnie have that really touching scene where Arnie's talking about how he's like Christine, is
In the
like-
car.
Yeah, when he's like
Driving back from when.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
It's such a really nice
Yeah.
friendship scene that really builds and makes the audience say, "Hey, these guys are really, really."
And as a counterpoint, when the shit has hit the fan, and they have that scene where Arnie is driving 90 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And
they're
he's drinking.
yeah.
And he's throwing. Let's celebrate let's ring in 1979.
Yes.
Gasoline. I mean, it is absolute craziness that this is Arnie 2.0 now. It's
Yes.
not Arnie that was in your scene that you just
Right.
talked about.
Yeah.
It's this Arnie that Dennis is crying. He's
yeah.
crying because his
He's
friend is
crying.
gone. His
Yeah.
friend is gone.
He's
lost.
dead. He's like
can't get him
yeah.
back. It's irreversible.
Yep.
I get like I have goosebumps just thinking
Yeah.
about like the emotion of that scene.
Oh my God! And the lighting in that scene, it's just the red dashboard, right,
Yes.
shining on their faces.
Similar to a little bit of
yeah,
a
what
little
we got
bit.
going on behind us here.
The ending in the garage we have to talk about.
Oh God, yeah.
Because Christine's already in the garage. That's
Yes.
such a classic.
That was
Carpenter
such
scene.
a great little twist.
Yeah.
they're all prepped. They think they're all prepared. They're
They are.
waiting,
Yeah.
and then little do they know, Christine's hanging out.
Dennis's plan is flawed, Mike. Lee, why don't you get out of the Caterpillar? Go hide in Darnell's office, which is glass.
Yes, exactly. That's
And-
smart. Yeah.
And
Oh,
some
yeah.
stuff, please
Yes.
just go in there.
Yep.
Absolutely crazy. She's exposed. She's vulnerable. It's the worst plan ever.
Yep.
And then Christine comes flying at her. And then they show that's the scene where they show Arnie with what is it, like greenish blue lighting?
Yes.
That he looks like a ghost. He looks like the ghost of LeBay or whatever,
he's
right?
got black under his eyes.
Yes.
He's very yeah.
It's like a zombie Arnie or whatever you want to call him. It's LeBay. It's the ghost of LeBay.
That's right, because in the book they really
manifested.
lay
Yes.
into that, right?
They
He's
do.
slowly
Huge.
becoming
him
because he's like wearing his clothes, right? And he's talking like him and everything. I think that's where a lot of people get confused by the whole shitters thing, but I think that's what that is, right? It's LeBay's like how he talks basically.
Right. So Dennis saves the day. Mm-hmm. Trashes Christine. Christine retreats to the other side of the garage.
Yep.
Lee still doesn't get in the caterpillar.
No, of course.
She still doesn't get.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? They're embracing.
Yeah.
Mike, there's not a lot of blood in this movie, but the only blood you do see is when Arnie comes flying through the windshield right towards Lee.
Yeah, and he makes that sound.
He's taking the glass out of his, embedded in his chest or his heart or whatever it is. Dude, think about it. It's the anti-thing.
Yeah.
Here he had the most bloody movie you've ever seen, the goriest thing you've ever seen in the thing. Here's Christine, a human story, an emotional story.
Yeah.
Barely any blood.
Right.
It's Carpenter saying, flipping the bird to all the critics.
Yeah.
F you. This is what we have. Just like Halloween.
Yeah, exactly.
In a way, right?
So, Matt, let me interrupt you real quick. Who's driving in that scene?
Well, you're assuming that Christine's driving itself, right?
Well, you think in a lot of those scenes, because Arnie is like off delivering stuff for Darnell, right? And Christine's driving at those scenes.
Yes.
But in this last scene, is it Arnie driving?
It is Arnie because Arnie flies through the window. So Arnie's in the car.
Because Christine wouldn't throw Arnie through the window. She loves him.
No. He by inertia and everything else, like a pure physics, he flies out the windshield.
Unless
when it smashes into the
there's
office.
like a theory I have. Is Christine done with Arnie and that's why she lets him fly through?
That's symbolism. She's casting Arnie out. Like she's done with his earthly vessel is basically
right.
Done,
and he's so evil that she's kind of like
will always be with her.
Right, exactly.
But that's the human, the last
I
thing.
don't know.
I
Something
love
to think
that.
about.
That's really good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Carpenter, man, flipping the bird again. Like, you didn't like my last movie? You're not going to like this one either. Yeah. I don't care. I really don't care if you like this one either.
Right. What do you think about the ending?
Do you like the bed to the bone needle drop again at the end? I think it
ties it all together.
It does tie it together.
It makes it goofy, but it's still kind of fun. I love the guy walking in the background.
Yes.
You hear the music and
That's somebody, and I forget who that is. That's George Thorogood, who the singer of Bed to the Bone. I want to say that's him.
The guy walking in the background?
Yes.
Oh, you're right.
I think that's his
and
cameo.
I heard he had lines, and he was so
exactly.
bad.
He was so bad that they kept him in the movie, but it was
just as a nice thing, I love it.
So, Mike, we talked about what a character piece this is. It's time.
Yeah. We're going to go into some of the quotes. Let's talk about them, Maddie.
What about the best quotes from the film? Let's take a closer look at what the characters were saying.
Just do it. Yeah. So, amazing quotes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we're going to get into characters after this. So.
Yes.
Yep. So give us one first, Matt. What do you got?
So, Bemis, of all people, in the hallway, as Alexandra Paul is walking by, she smiled at me. I want to have deep, meaningful sex with her. That guy is so fun. It just cracks me up. It comes out of nowhere, that line.
I've talked about this before. That guy, I think, he looks exactly.
He does. I know where you're going with this.
Like the guy from the kid from Halloween 2.
Oh, I didn't. Okay. Which one?
The short kid. Not what's his name? Not I can't think of the actor's name.
You're talking about 81 Halloween.
No, H2O.
Oh, H2O.
Yeah. What did I say?
You said Halloween 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. H2O.
Oh, H2O. Yeah, it's Charlie.
Charlie.
Yes.
Dude, if you
he does look like Charlie.
Watch H2O.
That's a good call.
Watch Charlie. The way he talks, the way he looks, it looks exactly like Bemis.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So when he says that, yep. Deep dark quote, Matt. I'm just going to throw it out there, and I'm sure it's on your list too. Has it ever occurred to you that part of being a parent is trying to kill your kids?
I have that one. That is a beautiful.
That's got to be that's King, right? Is that in the book?
I have to say I don't know, but my God, it has to be.
That's so dark, dude.
Bill Phillips, who's the guy who wrote this one? I think it was Bill Phillips, his friend of Carpenter's. I think he was a good friend of his. I don't know. That is the best line probably in the movie.
That is such a dark line.
And it's pitch black.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Kiddo, you sold him that piece of shit. You ought to be fucking ashamed of yourself. I didn't sell it to him. I tried to talk him out of it. You should have tried harder. Darnell, every line that comes out of Robert Prosky's mouth is a piece of gold.
It's amazing. He is such a great character. He's so good. I love it.
I knew this guy had a car like that once. Fucking bastard killed himself in it. Son of a bitch was so mean you could have poured boiling water down his throat. He would have pissed ice cubes. absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I can't even. I don't even know what to do. I lose my mind when he comes on screen
Yeah.
because he literally steals the movie.
Oh, he does. He's so good. He's such like a three-dimensional character, and he's so great. I love, all the lines that he gives. Don't try to push your friend out of here. You're trying to be a smart ass.
Oh, yeah.
All those
Oh,
lines
yeah.
are great. How about when Arnie says, "Let me tell you a little something about love, Dennis.
Yes.
It has voracious appetite.
Yes, I have that
it
one,
eats
too.
everything. Friendship, family. It kills me how much it eats. But I'll tell you something else. You feed it right, and it can be a beautiful thing, and that's what we have."
Well, this is the scene where they're driving 90 miles an hour down the road.
Yes, I know.
And that is
Oh,
that
my
line to
God.
me is the pinnacle of
Yeah.
artistry as far
and
as
he
writing.
delivers it so well.
Yeah, he owns this whole scene.
A lot of people trash Keith's performance
He
in
is
this movie.
absolutely amazing in this movie.
I think he's great. Maybe you could talk about Back to School. He might be a little
Jason Mel-
goofy.
this isn't Jason Mellon, dude. This is before Jason Mellon.
No, I'm just saying. A lot of people trash him as an actor.
It's probably minstrel. We're not talking about Back to School. We're talking like he had hard stuff to do in this movie.
Yeah.
And he
had to really
delivered.
act. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I was really impressed.
Kid was cut in half, Arnie. They had
that
to
one too. That's
scrape
so
his
funny.
legs up with a shovel. Well, isn't that what you're supposed to do with shit? Scrape it up with a little shovel? I mean, that's crazy to the detective.
He's such like a
wise
smart
ass.
ass
Yeah,
to
he
the detective,
really-
right?
Yeah, he totally is.
What is it? Jenkins is his name.
Junkins.
I think? Yeah,
Junkins, yeah,
Yes,
that's,
thank you. Junkins. Yes.
Junkins, yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Harry Dean Stanton was the actor.
Yes. Yeah.
Great
Amazing.
actor.
Such a great actor. Yeah.
No shitter ever came between me and Christine. Again, just that same scene where,
Yeah.
where Gordon's just killing it, absolutely destroying it.
Yep.
How about we can't forget? Show me.
Yeah. Oh, show me the
What about the
simplest
simplicity
line.
of that?
Yeah. Yes.
And what follows it? It's
Yes.
absolutely startling.
Yeah. The amazing line by George LeBay.
Yeah.
My asshole brother bought her back in September '57. That's when you got your new model year in September. Brand new she was. She had the smell of a brand new car. This is about the finest smell in the world, except maybe for pussy.
Yeah.
That line is
Him delivering that line is very unnerving.
so. Listen, when we were kids, though, that was the line we were all chuckling, like in our basement or in the. You and Mikey
Yeah.
D were probably like, "Ooh," that was the line because it was like nobody spoke that word. You know what I mean? Back then, nowadays, kids probably say it all the time, but we didn't. That was pretty bad.
No, I mean, what about the last line? The last line of the movie. God, I hate rock and roll.
Oh, my
That
God.
is that is so Carpenter.
I know it is.
It's perfectly cynical. It is exactly the way he would want to end this movie.
That's just a way to tie it up, right?
And that's another. Hey, critics, I know you don't like this movie either. You don't like the thing. You didn't like this movie either. Here you go. This is what I think.
Yes.
And he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I love him for it. You got to love him
You
for
gotta love him for it. Any others before we backtrack here, Matt?
it. That's what I have for. I mean, I love Rock and Roll is Here to Stay. It will never die. The lyrics of the
yeah.
song. I mean,
Yeah.
in that scene where it's being bulldozed because that's what's playing.
Yes.
But it's so strangely appropriate that song and then her saying that line.
I
God,
know.
hate rock and
Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny. It's like total offset, offsetting things. It's
roll.
amazing.
It is.
All right, Matt, let's get into the nitty gritty of this. We're actually going to talk about the characters of the film.
We are.
Whether it's Dr. Cruz or Dr. Chalice, Alice or Annie, Tommy or Teddy Bear, many of the characters from this film also made a permanent mark upon your horror hearts.
All right, Maddie. A lot of characters to talk about. We want to start with Arnie Cunningham.
Oh, you want to start on Arnie? Go,
Yeah, let's do it.
Go for it.
Yeah. So Arnie, what I think about Arnie is the biggest thing about this movie that I love so much is the magical transformation, right? Of how he is at the beginning. Because like you and I are into writing, and they always say like your main character needs to be one way at the beginning and be the complete opposite at the end.
Yes.
And
Yep.
that's what we have here. It's a sad transformation, obviously, because not only do Dennis and Arnie lose their friendship, and like you said, Dennis is crying in the car and he's really upset that he's lost his friend even before he's dead.
Yeah.
He's he just knows this is it. I'm never getting my friend back, and he's completely lost it.
I when you mentioned people criticize Keith Gordon's performance, I just want to go on record as saying I think he's a revelation in this movie.
Yeah, he's
I
so
really
good.
do.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, here's the thing. So who was originally cast in this movie?
No.
Kevin Bacon.
Oh, that's right. I did read that.
So
yes.
Kevin Bacon, but he dropped out to do.
Footloose.
Now I gotta cut loose
Yeah.
from Christine.
Yeah, he made the right choice.
By the way, cool acting choice. That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting because I don't. How
Could have worked for the
Kevin
film.
Bacon is a nerd. I don't know. I guess he could do it. He could do
come
it.
on, he's kind of nerdy a little
could
bit.
be,
He's
yeah.
a good-looking guy. I get it. It's
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon, but he certainly could do the nerdy and the brooding a little bit.
I agree.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
But let's get back to Keith Gordon. I mean, what he does with Arnie is miraculous.
It's
Like
pretty awesome.
from nebbish, nerdy, angry, detached, nihilistic. Like, how do you go from those traits? Like you said, his character arc is so severe.
Dude, the first time we see him, he's dropping shit in the driveway. He's, when he's like, he's almost so wimpish. He's like, "Oh, I'll be right there, Dennis."
Yeah, the bag breaks open.
Yeah.
Let me pitch you a question. Is this one of horror's like most tragic characters? Is this one of the saddest characters?
I would say yeah, because I love this movie so much. So I've so emotionally attached
Me too.
to Arnie that when you get pissed every time you watch it almost. The way he treats Dennis, the way, his mom's like a tough cookie, so that's not fair. But
she is a tyrant. And
Yeah.
the height of enjoyment for him is playing Scrabble with his parents.
yeah, and she wouldn't even
How
allow
sad is
fellatio. Would you ever play fellatio with your mom? I would never even
No.
broach the word.
I don't care how about the word score. I don't care.
I would
wouldn't
not.
do it.
I would chuckle and I would move on.
Like his outlook on the prospect of senior year, maybe I'll just beat off.
Yeah.
That is not a bright outlook.
No, that's
dude, you
not
got to have a
good.
better attitude than that going
But
into
that
senior
just
year.
shows how he is as
Yes,
a character.
I
He's so
know.
beaten down. He doesn't want to take a
Dude,
chance.
tells Dennis, "I know what I am."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tragedy. I'm telling you, we're selling this as Arnie's the most tragic, one of the
Yeah.
top 3 tragic
Right.
figures
Yeah.
in horror. I don't know. To me, he is.
Yeah. I agree.
Maybe it's for the first one. He's drawn to Christine. Like, maybe it's the first time in my life that I found something uglier than me.
I know that is such a sad.
And I know I
line.
can fix her.
Yes.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah. That's so sad.
Jesus.
That's so sad that he's saying that.
All right. Talking point.
Yeah.
We're talking about Arnie. We're talking about Stephen King. And he's going to come up, because I want to take him to task one more time.
Right.
Stephen King doesn't like this film. Right? It doesn't make sense to me, though, because let's rewind to The Shining.
Yeah.
What did he have a problem with in The Shining? That there's no character arc for Jack.
Right.
When you see him, he's crazy.
He's already crazy. Yeah.
Look at.
So,
can
King-
you say that about? Can you
King,
say that
come
about?
on.
Arnie has the hugest arc
Yeah, King,
ever.
pay attention. Your character's got a huge character arc.
Isn't that hypocritical? I mean, I got to call him out, dude. I mean, he's just that's not right.
Yeah. I
Because
agree.
this is exactly what you had a problem with in The Shining.
Yep.
Carpenter delivered something,
Yeah.
and sure, it deviated from your book, absolutely. But they had to make it more film
Right.
friendly, whatever. But this is what you complained about from The Shining, and he gave it to you, and you're still complaining.
Yes.
You can't please writers.
No, you
That's-
can't.
That's
You can't do it. You can't do it.
that's what we're going to learn from this, Mike.
Yeah. Matt, before we move on, how about we a little break for a little commercial break here?
Let's do that.
Are you having fun listening to the guys? Well, give me your eyes and your ears, only for a moment. I just want to tell you that there's more to hear. So much more. Join our Patreon for lots of bonus Alone in the Dark content. Go to patreon.com/Alone in the Dark podcast and help to support the show.
Let's step on the gas and get back into these characters, Mike.
Let's do it.
Is it me, or is Dennis's friend Chuck? Is he a dead ringer for Casey Affleck?
Oh,
the guy in the
yeah.
beginning when
Oh,
he-
yeah,
by
yeah.
the
The guy
locker?
that's like saying about football, you gonna
Yes,
play or whatever?
yes.
He kind of looks like
He
him.
is a dead ringer for Casey.
Yeah,
Affleck.
yeah.
And
Without
then
the Boston accent.
When Kelly Preston tells Dennis TTFN, that's the first time I'd ever. That's 83, dude.
Yeah.
I don't recall before that ever hearing TTFN.
No, I didn't hear it either.
This is the origins of TTFN.
Right.
Not that anybody cares about that, but it's just crazy.
But was
they
that a
used it.
thing? Like, I don't know.
I have no idea.
And maybe it was a thing back
I mean,
then.
Gnarly was a thing, and all this other 80s,
Yeah.
like Valley Girl stuff. Was also 83, right? Think about all the
Right.
Valley Girl stuff,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
80s stuff that was going
But
on.
that seems very old-fashioned, right?
TTFN. It's this innocent type
Yeah.
of,
Right, exactly. Yep, totally.
So let's get into Arnie's parents, Mike.
Oh,
Regina
God.
Cunningham.
Regina, Jesus Christ.
What do you think about Regina?
She's so evil, dude. She's
evil.
such a giant. She's such a bitch,
Part
dude.
of her job is to kill Arnie.
Yeah, she's just beating him down, and like even the dad, you could tell the dad's like. I feel bad for the dad a little bit.
Of course you do.
Yeah, because
Of course you do.
you could tell she's like.
I mean-
she walks in a room, she's just like. "Argh."
Did Arnie have a choice but to choose Christine?
No, of course she kind of sent him to Christine.
He
You know
had
what I mean?
he had absolutely no choice. Here's the thing that doesn't talk to me that way.
You must certainly won't.
Oh, you most certainly want. You got to be kidding, Regina. Come on. Like, he's outvoted 2-1 by a ruling committee every
Yes,
time he wants
I
to do
know.
anything.
I know, it's crazy.
Oh, she's a nightmare. And the dad, like you said, I feel so bad.
I feel bad when Arnie chokes him. That one scene where he chokes him. It's
bad.
I feel terrible.
But that's how far they want to show you, right? That's why I really think that was an important scene.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't cut that.
Right.
Because like we said, the humanity's gone.
Yep. And he's totally losing it.
Because his dad's, if he has an ally in the house, it's his father.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's weak and is
Right.
wimpy and is obviously under Regina's regime. She rules with iron fist, but...
I'm thinking of Halloween Ends, which we're going to have our episode, and it's just like the parallels to Christine, the more that we talk about.
Okay.
It's huge.
Tell me, what?
The parents, the mom's
in the beginning?
bitch, and
In the beginning scene? The opening scene of Halloween Ends?
No, just in general.
Oh.
His parents, his mom's like real nasty,
Yeah.
and I think it's his stepdad, has kind of like...
You're talking about Corey.
Yeah, Corey's parents, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's
Definitely,
just funny.
that's a good point.
There's definitely some parallels for sure.
Moochie Welsh.
Moochie. Yeah,
Moochie
ball
Welsh.
grabbing Moochie.
Ball grabbing. My God. Like I said, he defecates on the dashboard through the broken windshield. There's a scene.
I don't think I need to see that.
This ball grabbing bastard makes an impression, Mike. He really makes it. He's like Artie Lang from the Howard Stern show crossed with like Joey from Friday the 13th.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of who
He kind of is. That's a perfect mishmash.
He's like a
of
dangerous
character.
child.
He really is.
Think
He's
about
just, yes.
When Buddy and his boys go to Darnell's to trash Christine, Moochie, Mike, you got to go back and watch the scene. Everyone has to go back and watch the scene.
Yeah.
He's euphoric. He's got these little orgasms are shooting. Ah! He's shooting like he's whacking the sledgehammer against the floor. Like he is just enjoying this way more than any human should be enjoying this.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I'm telling you, go back and watch it. He's out of his mind. And then of course you have Buddy.
Yeah, Buddy is like legendary bully.
Buddy
You know
the
what I mean?
bully.
Yeah, he's a huge guy, big guy.
He is a bit. You met him.
I met him and Moochie.
That's right.
Yeah.
He directed you. What's the story?
Oh, well, this is the story. A friend
Just
of
for
mine.
those who just like maybe tuning
Yeah,
in.
yeah. A friend of mine loves Christine. So he's a guitar player. He plays for a band called Damone, which were pretty popular back in the day. They were
Noel.
Well, Noel, but
And then the guitar player.
Dave Pino, this
Dave,
guy
yes.
who's like awesome. He's not in. He stopped playing with Damone, but he kind of was with the band when they had their big break and amazing stuff. He plays for Andrew WK now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
the
so
British guy, yeah.
yeah. So he's a huge fan of Christine. I was going to Chiller Fest, and I saw that they were both going to be there. So I'm like, let me get. And he always quoted Buddy, So I was like, let me get an autograph from Buddy. So I show up not realizing that Buddy and Moochie were sitting right next to each other
Together, right? That's awkward.
So it's awkward. So I go up and explain the story, and I was like, "Oh, my friend's a huge fan. You're great in this movie. I'm a huge fan too, but my buddy wants an autograph. I said I'd get it for him." And the actor's name's mistaking me right now, but the guy who plays Buddy goes, "Yeah, did you see Moochie sitting right here?"
Yeah, but how freaking cool is that? That he would, like, forget me. Like, I know, like, he's kind of wants his buddy to get some money too. That's kind of cool, though.
I know why he was doing it. He was trying to make money for his friend because these people make money by how many autographs they
Of
sell.
course they do, but it's kind of cool that he put his own greed aside to kind of get Moochie.
No,
some.
he was going to sign mine, but he was like, "Hey, you want his too?"
Yeah.
And I felt terrible because the autographs are expensive. They're like $40. You know what I mean?
You didn't have a paper bag with a lunch, did you? Like, I wouldn't. I
I
mean,
should have brought that. That would have been cool to have.
he
him
would have.
sign
Imagine
that.
did he have a switchblade or something?
That would have been awesome.
No, he really like that's a lost opportunity.
I know. A little video with that would have been amazing. So anyway, I had to be like, "Oh, that's great," and then I was like, "Could you sign this?" It was so awkward. Dude.
Wow,
It was the worst.
So,
But
dude, is Buddy older than Mr. Casey?
he looks like he could be.
I mean, he's supposed to be right. He's the
Yeah,
Mr. Casey's
I
teacher,
know,
but I think
know.
Buddy.
The actors in this movie are definitely way above what a high school student.
I
should look
always
like.
wanted to see a world where Buddy Repperton in this movie has to square off against Buddy Revell in 3 O'Clock High. Remember the guy that
Yes,
scared kid
yeah.
is trying
I
to
love that. That kind of
right?
looks
Phil
similar.
Joanno's movie.
Yeah.
It's an amazing movie.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen 3 O'Clock High, look up that Phil Joanno is like, it was like a Spielberg prodigy back in the day in the 80s. This movie is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's a great one. Underrated for sure.
Underrated, but buddies, the two buddies, the battle of the buddies.
Oh my god!
You
And they
could've
look
made T-shirts.
They look alike.
I mean, Richard Tyson has a little buddy in him. Yeah, Richard Tyson, the guy who plays the bully in 3 O'Clock High.
No, but don't they both have like dark curly
Yeah,
hair?
yeah, no, they have like longer hair a little bit.
Right.
Yep. But Buddy has no redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
Right? He's freaking jacked. Like you said, he's humongous.
Yep.
Who wins that fight though? I really don't know. I think maybe Buddy Revell wins, but I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that. Repperton is, he's big, but he's not as menacing as.
But let's face it, Buddy's pork chop sideburns could kick Arnie's ass.
Totally.
I mean, forget
reach
him squaring off against him.
and smack him. Yeah.
His sideburns could do the job just
Yeah.
by themselves. Mr. Casey, forget it. He's an authority figure. Like,
And that leads us to Darnell.
Darnell, one of the greatest characters. Like as we
Father
talked about.
figure.
Yeah, he kind of is. He sort of takes him in when he has
For a
that,
little bit.
When he has that scene with Arnie and he's telling him about you changed the spools and
You know, you pick up around the place. Do a few lubes, put the toilet paper on the little spool, shit like that. Do that, and you can raid my junk pile for whatever you need if you want. I might even throw in a few bucks.
I love how Arnie goes, let me think about it. And he's like, don't you think about it too long. He gets really upset.
He gets pissed.
Yeah, he gets really pissed.
That's the last time you run that mechanical asshole in here with an exhaust hose.
Yeah.
He is cranky, man. He
He's
is a
a
cranky.
cranky
By the
guy.
way, his death in the book is spectacular.
Oh, what happens in the book?
You know, it crushes him. He sits in the seat, the ashes,
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah,
cigar,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
In the movie, we all
Right.
know what happens. In the book, he's at his house. Christine like rams through like the bay window, up the stairs,
Holy cow.
like chasing it, runs him over, like runs him down, and runs over him. Like it is nuts.
So obviously, for
Full
budget
tilt,
reasons,
nutty.
they couldn't do that.
Oh my God, forget that. That would
Yeah,
have
that would have been
$20 million
impossible.
movie.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Just that scene would have been insane.
Wow.
So, let's talk about Christine, like the character, right? I mean, we got to talk about Christine.
Of course.
1958 Plymouth Fury. Dude,
Only came in like a beige color, right? So the red was a custom color back.
the red
in
was
day.
custom, I
Yeah.
believe.
And that's why at the beginning you see all that beige
Rolling
colors.
off the line, the assembly line.
And the
yeah.
only one that's red is Christine,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. I love that. I love that sort of simple.
I love, like you said, to go back to the beginning, how bad to the bone, right? I mean, she's haunted from the very beginning, and we know that. We've established that. So the audience is sitting there going, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Like the clock is ticking. It's a ticking clock scenario,
Yep.
as we know is very good writing technique.
Yep.
She's a ghost of Roland the Bay, the previous owner. Like it's possessed by his evil spirit.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. The film doesn't question how or why Christine is evil, though, Mike. Carpenter allows that to remain a mystery, which I really like. Does this sound familiar, by the way? Allows him to remain a mystery, like Michael Myers is a
Yes.
mystery, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't explain it. Carpenter doesn't explain it.
know.
Here is that, again, that parallel between Halloween, right? Bloodless, that mystery about the killer character.
Yep.
You don't need this backstory, Rob Zombie. Sorry, you don't. You really don't. Your psychology 101, the way he kills animals and stuff. We don't need that. But he did his own thing. Whatever. It's fine. Lee is... I thought Alexandra Paul did a great job
She did great. She was awesome. You know,
with
Girl
all those
Next
guys.
Door.
Yeah, Girl Next Door, but
Yeah.
the really, really good-looking girl next door.
Yeah.
And she picks Arnie.
She does, which is interesting. She happens to be there when Arnie starts
Going
to
after his
transform.
brain.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
That gives all men hope.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or whoever hope. Women, whatever you
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And she's the total jealous type, we learned.
Well, yeah.
Imagine her being jealous of Arnie.
Yeah. or-
Imagine that.
Yeah.
But if they could sell that to us and we can buy that, this movie does a pretty good job in the writing. You have
It really
to say.
does. Yeah, it really does.
Because it's palatable. You can believe that.
Yeah, and her performance is great.
It is good.
The scene at the drive-in where she chokes on the burger and the light comes on, which is super Carpenter. We love that, you know. I just love that, and the scene after that where they're on her porch.
Great scene in the rain.
Yes,
It's still raining from the
I
drive-in.
love that scene. The emotion in that scene is pretty huge because Arnie's really kind of taking advantage of her and he's
Yeah.
being like a real jerk.
She's
And
willing to make love to him, but
Yeah.
not in Christine, dude. I'm not going to ride
Yeah.
you in your ride. No
Yeah.
way. Ain't happening.
Yeah, and she sort of, she sort of puts up with him and sort of is like you could see her has conflicts in her head. She doesn't know if she's going to stay with him or not. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike brings us to Dennis,
Yeah.
who, even though it's Arnie's film, it's Christine's film.
Yep.
We get to Dennis last year. Dennis is the most unlikely best friend of Arnie there ever was. Right?
Super
How is
popular.
it that these two are friends?
Well,
Because they were friends at really young age.
Yeah, I think
that's
they
the
just-
only
yes.
way.
And I think Dennis is a nice guy, and he's got Arnie's back. He wants to look out
Dude,
for him. You know,
He
wants to
doesn't
get him
care about
laid,
the
he
treacherous
wants to-
waters of the high school hierarchy. He could care less.
Yeah.
This is my buddy. I'm sticking by him.
Oh yeah, and that's awesome. I love that. That's great.
I mean, a football player, like he's a human punchline, Mike. I mean, these two are as unlikely as Spam and Caviar to share a dinner plate.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Arnie is Spam, Dennis is Caviar.
Yeah.
And here they are, best
Yeah,
buds.
I know.
Friends to the end.
It's so odd, but I love it. There's something so great about the relationship.
And Dennis hasn't forgotten it,
No.
no matter what the cost to his character.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get Lee, even when he doesn't have Lee, he's supporting Arnie going out with Lee. It
Yeah.
pisses him off
Yeah.
to some degree.
Right.
But he's not sabotaging the
No.
relationship, even
No,
though in
of
the book
course
I
not.
think he kind of is.
Oh, is he in the book?
Which kind of paints his a little bit more gray, his character, because he narrates the book, right? It's mostly his story. So in that way, he is jealous of Arnie.
Okay,
and he
gotcha.
does kind of want Lee from the beginning, and the fact that she chooses Arnie does kind of chap his ass a little bit. But I love that he'll take on the buddies of the world. But he's a wise ass. Think about the Darnell scene. He's like giving him the finger behind when Darnell's explaining how things work.
Yeah.
He's giving him the finger behind his back.
I know.
That is like the great.
And
those men over there
smoking.
smoking. You better tell them to stop. And he yells at him, and then he starts giving him the finger behind his back.
It's so funny. He's a teenager. You know what I mean?
But everything he does, think about it, is selflessly to help Arnie.
Yeah, it's
Like,
really nice.
Picks up Arnie for school. Offers to get Arnie laid. Opens Arnie's locker for him, for God's sakes. Right? He needs that.
Yep.
Gets his balls squeezed by freaking Moochie.
Yeah, he's sticking up for Arnie. Runs to the auto shop just to be there for Arnie.
And he's the one that confronts George LeBay about the price and everything else with the car. He's the one who haggles
He's the
the
one
price.
that goes back. And
Absolutely.
he goes back too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Everything for Arnie, Mike, except maybe hooking up with Lee. That's the gray
Right,
area.
that's the one where he's a little.
By that time, though,
chapped.
Arnie and Christine have already become inseparable. So it's like almost like Arnie and Christine coupled up. So Dennis is like, hey, then I'm coupling up with Lee.
Yep.
I'll take the remnants of what we got here. But Mike, take my hand for a second.
Yes, man.
Dennis reminds me of you, buddy,
What?
because everything he does, he sticks by his buddy, just like you stick by me.
Aw, that's
You
nice,
stick by
Maddie.
me, man, and I appreciate
Hey,
you. You're like
always,
Dennis to
dude.
my Arnie. I'll take it.
Always. Just don't take my Lee, all right?
I'll settle for Kelly Preston.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're going to talk about some music, Maddie?
Oh, we definitely
Let's
are.
do it, Matt.
Did you hear that sound? No, not the screaming. From memorable tunes to stabbing synths and haunted strings, it's time to discuss the music from the film.
All right. The soundtrack, Matt, the songs in this movie,
Yeah.
it's crazy, right?
This is your favorite score, if I'm not mistaken.
This is my
Carpenter
favorite score.
and Alan Howard.
Yes. And we got to talk about when we saw Carpenter in New York City.
Oh my God.
When this came on and they showed Christine driving on the big screen behind and Carpenter
The band were playing
and
the
we're
music.
playing, I was like, oh my God. You have to admit, that was the best moment of that concert.
We were lost. I
Yeah.
think we hugged each other at that point.
I think we did. We were in tears, you know?
But to me, also, you say is best. The other one I think is best is the one I think this is most eerily similar to, and that's Halloween 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
These scores, they're very close by each other.
Yeah.
Halloween
And
3 was only a year
timeline,
before this.
yep.
Timeline, late
Yep.
82. Here we are in 83.
So it was in his mindset, you know? he was
Definitely.
kinda-
He's
yeah.
coming off scoring Halloween 3,
Right.
coming into directing and scoring Christine. And it's, like, not surprising, like you
Yeah.
said. But it's close. There's some
Yeah.
moments you're like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Don't,
yeah.
don't.
Right. Yeah, there's
don't.
little things that are crossing over a little bit, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. Like, you have these stings. Like
Yes.
you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Like the Moochie, the headlights going
Yes.
on. Again, Halloween 3 does that
It
too.
is very big time. It's like all over Halloween 3 for sure.
So that's kind of, I think,
Yeah.
the part that I gravitate to.
Well,
As
think
far
about
as comparing,
it. Think about it. Halloween 3 was, obviously he was doing the music for that. He was proud of that.
That's true.
And this was kind of a job. So he was probably a little lazy, I would think, with the score, but I think it ended up being
Oh,
better
my God.
in this movie.
But think about how clever he was too, though. The boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. It's a ticking clock.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
That literally is that motif
Yep.
that you have, like, this death machine called Christine is going
Yeah.
to put an end to you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And it's only a matter of boom, boom.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
not going to see it coming.
I know.
And it's going to happen.
Oh, it's amazing.
So the soundtrack, Mike.
yeah.
Oh man, these oldies are great.
Yeah.
My favorite, of course, is Little Richard's. You keep on knocking on your
Yes,
kingdom.
great.
My favorite. It plays twice in the movie.
Yep.
Sure to make an appearance on a future horror soundtrack list, I believe, for me.
Okay.
Haven't yet put it
Gotcha.
on there, but I'm claiming it right
All
now
right,
on this
cool.
pod.
All right, it's
I'm
yours.
claiming it.
Go for it.
I read a review though that said most of the '50s music came from artists who suffered untimely, tragic deaths.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Right. Buddy Holly.
Yep.
Richie Valens.
Yep.
Killed in the plane crash
Yep.
with the Big Bopper in '59. The height of their careers too. Careers just taken off.
Yes.
Right. So, Johnny Ace with "Pledging My Love." He died
Johnny
playing.
Ace. Do you know that story?
No. What is that story?
Johnny Ace. This is really sad. Johnny Ace was really into guns.
Oh yeah, I did. Maybe. Okay, go ahead.
And he was on tour with his band, and I forget, they were somewhere, New Orleans maybe or something like that, and he was joking around.
He didn't die on stage.
No, it was right before their show.
Oh.
And he was backstage and he held out his gun. It was like I forget what gun. It was like some famous gun. And he's like, "You guys ever play Russian roulette?" And he spins it. And he's like, "There's no bullets in here." And he puts it to his head.
No. Are you kidding me?
Shot himself in front of his whole band and crew. Some people think it was suicide. Other people say no, he was
He
just
played Russian roulette.
he played Russian roulette and killed himself in front
My
of
God.
like family and friends and like his band and stuff. Really, really tragic.
And the guy who does Boney Maroney, Larry Williams, he was shot in the head, execution style,
Oh.
in 1980, same year as John Lennon was
Jesus.
killed. Again, we talked about the bed to the bone needle drop at the beginning of the movie. Mike, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
This is kind of a new feature. We haven't done this, and this is the episode
Okay.
we're going to preview. We're going to premiere this segment. If you had to get a tattoo related to this film, what would it be?
So when I think of tattoos, you don't have any tattoos.
I do not.
I have a few.
I am tattooless. Yeah.
I like to get things that are different, and so I have a hard time with movies. I don't have any. Well, the closest I have to a movie tattoo is it's kind of the ghost from Halloween where he's
Bob,
floating-
Trick or Treats
yeah,
for-
Bob.
yeah,
but my
not
ghost
five,
is
but-
floating off the floor. So it's
Okay.
I don't know, Christine. Maybe the license plate.
Okay. That's kind
Kind
of
of cool.
I mean, if you're going to hit it right on the nail, you would do the fiery 58
Yeah.
Plymouth Fury,
Yeah.
right? But then you'd have to write like Bad to the Bone or
Something.
Riding with the King.
Right.
What about Riding with the King, dude? I don't know. Give it back to
Yeah.
King. Give it
No,
back
I
to
like that.
It was his
That's cool.
first anyway, right?
Yeah. That's cool.
So it's time, Mike. It's time to wrap up here and talk about our Nightmare. And what do you think the Nightmare Index?
Let's
What'd you
see.
do?
Let's see where we're gonna go. This has been a debate, but we're gonna check it out.
So what did you think? How does this one rate on the Nightmare Index?
All right, Matt. So Nightmare Index. We were definitely gonna have to publish all these movies, you
Yep.
know, so people can see them. We'll put them online.
Our
somewhere.
our ratings.
Our ratings.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that a 5? That's out of scale 5.
That's out of 5. Yeah.
Okay.
So 1 out of 5. Am I going first?
You are. Why not?
Okay. I love this movie.
Of course you do.
This was, I forgot to mention we were talking about nostalgia. This became a film habit for me when I was in college because that's when I watched it. Was in September.
The only person I know who's watched this movie more than Halloween from John Carpenter's career.
Yeah,
I think you're the only one.
maybe because I watch it every year.
You definitely have.
But this started in college. I think it was my sophomore or my junior year. That's when I forget what year that was when I got the Laserdisc and where you and I met.
Yep.
You know, when I was talking to you at a party and we were
in
talking about
Westchester
the Laserdisc.
University in PA, yeah.
Yep. But I always, after that, getting that Laserdisc, watching that in September, that's when I deep dove into Carpenter and watched Christine in September and kind of in my brain, like latched on to the movie as my September watch. Fell in love with it. Always watched it every year from that point on. I love this movie. I love the writing of this movie. You know, I love movies with friends and friendships. So this movie has that. It has really good. Keith Corrigan does such a good job.
Sure.
His acting.
Yeah. Well, where's this going, Mike?
Dude, this is pretty high for me.
The highest one yet?
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm giving this a 4.5 on the
Out of
Nightmare-
5. All right, so
Nightmare
4.
Index.
I'm not.
Almost a perfect movie for
I'm
me.
not shocked.
Okay.
I'm
Good.
not shocked.
Good.
I gave this a 4.
A 4. Okay, so
Solid
you're a little lower.
4.
Okay, solid 4.
Oh
okay.
my God. I disagree heartily with Stephen King
Okay.
and his estimation of this movie. I love it. You
Yeah,
love it.
me
works,
too.
It works as a slasher,
Absolutely.
same way Jaws does.
Yep.
Right, killer car, killer shark, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Works as a drama.
Yes.
It's emotional, the way Fright Night can be emotional with Ed.
Right.
And his transformation scenes, all those.
Yep.
The performances, the shots, the score. I mean, you're right. You're right. It's. I mean, the that people trash this or don't like this movie. Granted, it's a little bloodless.
Right.
So the gore hounds aren't going to love this.
No.
And I think it takes its time. It's not a slow burn. I wouldn't even call it that.
Right.
But it for me, it unravels at the perfect pace for what
Yeah.
this story needs.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
I enjoy the novel, but honestly, this is not one of my favorite King novels.
Okay.
So I may actually be even or like the film a little bit better than the book. And,
Okay.
I like the book a lot.
Yeah.
But it's not one of my favorites.
Right. Okay.
But it's an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a little long.
Yeah.
You have to
think?
admit.
It
Hour
might be.
50?
A lot
Again,
of people say it's slow, but I
It's
don't.
more the drama. That's,
yeah.
that,
I think that's where
as
they
the
build
drama,
that. You have to, right?
you allot for the extra 20 minutes or 15
yeah.
minutes or whatever.
Exactly.
So again, book's 500 pages.
Yep.
It's not unreasonable that you would have
Yeah.
an hour and 50-minute
Oh
movie.
yeah. Yeah.
But Mike, I get sucked into this small town world. Tragic downfall of Arnie Cunningham. It's sad to see how he feels with Christine, and like that's the only thing that loves him as deeply and completely as he needs to.
Yes,
His
I
mother
know.
doesn't. Dennis tries. I think
He does.
Dennis does, but by that time, Arnie can't receive that love
Yeah.
anymore.
Yep.
He's too far gone with Christine. But Dennis is flagging it in his face, but it's just too late, right?
Halloween ends. I'm telling
Lee
you.
doesn't. Lee doesn't. His parents definitely
Right.
don't.
Yeah.
But again, he's so seduced by the time Dennis makes his pitch, and that's the teary part
Yeah.
in the 90-mile-an-hour
I know.
scene,
Yep. I know.
where he's just like, it's not Arnie anymore.
Yeah.
My friend is gone. Arnie, it's
Yeah.
definitely, it's just not
so
Arnie.
sad. It's so sad.
I get teared up just thinking about that
I
again,
know.
man. I swear to God, like, I'm not kidding. Look at my arms.
Yeah, you do have goosebumps on video. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
incredible. And Carpenter, the way he handles this, it shows what a craftsman he is. Even with something he didn't like, to produce this
Yeah.
To ditch the book's focus, I think we talked about this in the beginning.
Yeah.
Good idea.
It is a good idea. It had to be done for this movie for sure.
And streamline her origins to the beginning and
Yeah.
a song. What?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Because now we still have an hour and 50 minutes. If he didn't have that, it probably would have been 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Exactly.
To explain more with exposition explaining stuff.
Yep.
We don't need that.
We don't. Yep.
It's always going to be a success in my eyes. I never count this as anything but a rollicking success in Carpenter's career.
Yeah.
And I know you feel the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this movie so much, and like I said, it was so fun to do this in September, to make this part of my thing. So I'm just super happy that we got to do this.
I am super
kick
happy.
off our fall.
We're going to kick off our fall with this movie, Mike, and we're going to do one last segment that
Sure.
we're going
What
to
do you
carry
got?
forth what this movie pairs well with.
Oh.
So, if you want to hit the nose, hit something right on the nose and right on the nail, right on the head. Okay. The theme of machines, cars, Maximum Overdrive.
Okay.
Would be a good double feature with this
Okay.
movie, and the Stephen King connection, obviously.
Sure, you're going with the car thing. And
Why not?
Yeah, okay.
Right. But if you want to go a little different, I'm going to say Child's Play. Because a dying serial killer transferring his soul into a doll.
Oh, okay.
The way Roland the Bay
Yeah.
transferred his soul into Christine, and it's like a ghost that's in there and is now infesting Arnie.
Yep.
Two cursed objects that have this absorb the spirits of the men that they, so I think that's kind of a good way in. It's definitely
Yeah.
out of the box and
Sure.
not as on the nose.
Right.
But Chucky turns his attention to young Andy as the possible next host for his demented soul, just as Christine has chosen Arnie
Yeah.
to inhabit, friends to the end. Indeed.
Yeah. No, that's really good.
Friends right to the end.
I like that. That's excellent.
So that's what I have. Do you think of anything like
After talking through this episode, and the parallels
going
with
with this.
Halloween Ends,
Okay.
I realized as we're having all these talking points and
I love
talking
it.
about this movie, I'm like, this movie was a complete ripoff. Halloween Ends was a complete ripoff of Christine.
Very interesting.
They really took that. David Gordon Green really took that, the story of Christine, and said, I'm going to make a Halloween movie.
I love it.
That's Christine.
Now there is a recent thing on iHorror that talks about David Gordon Green does express what his origins or what his influences were when he was making Halloween Ends. I'm curious what he said on there.
had to
I did
say.
not read that article.
If he didn't say Christine,
so
he's
I'm
a
not sure.
liar.
I'm not sure.
He's a liar, Matt.
He's a liar. Then why don't we just call him a liar? He lied to us.
Oh boy. Well, that's about wraps it up, Matt. I just want to say thanks to everybody for supporting us. If you do like our podcast and you want to hear more from us, Matt, you can subscribe to us on Patreon.
You can.
We have a bunch of different tiers. We actually just changed our tiers.
We
have
did.
some fun things that are happening, things that we're sending out to Patreon tier subscribers.
We do.
And we're getting ready. One of the tiers, you get to record an episode with us and actually come up with the concept of the episode. So what episode are we recording with our friend Cammie?
Our friend Cammie Mosley, one of our great
Las
supporters
Vegas.
and friends from Vegas.
Yep.
She is going to be recording with us. She chose a series of films, some of her favorite films, and we're going to talk about why they have staying power.
Yep.
Kind of the psychology of horror and get into why do they scare us? Like why are these films still so relevant and so
Why some of them may become
prescient.
a film habit, like Christine here. You know?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's gonna be fun.
It will.
Yeah. So thanks, Cammie, for supporting us. And if you guys like us, please support us on Patreon. It's pretty easy. Go to
Be
Patreon.
like Cammie.
Yeah, be like Cammie. Patreon.com/Alone in the Dark podcast. We will see you October. We have a pretty full schedule.
We do.
Well, let's talk about that.
Let's.
real quick.
We already
Yeah.
revealed it on Instagram.
I know. So tell everybody. Matt.
So the film we're going to be doing is Night of the Demons.
Yes, which
from
is fun.
1988.
We've really talked about that briefly, but not a ton.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think we ever. We're going to talk about Night of the Demons more than anyone has talked about.
Yeah.
Night of the Demons.
It's
Ever.
gonna be fun. Yep. Mhm.
We're also going to do
We have an
Tricks or
episode,
Treats
Tricks or Treats
2?
yeah, which we talk about Halloween
themed
movies.
that set at Halloween time.
Right.
Ones that we've never really seen.
Yep,
That were given last year. I know we did like Candy Corn.
yep.
And a couple other ones.
And we determine if that is a trick or a treat, right?
And we discussed whether we were tricked by it or whether it was a
Super
treat.
fun.
Yep.
And then how are we wrapping up?
Well, Mike, why don't
The
you pitch
Halloween
this? Because you've been
season.
talking about this the whole episode. This Christine was stolen by this movie.
Yes. So we're gonna do a first actually for the podcast. We're gonna do a episode where people can call in.
Yes.
And we're going to film it, and you guys can call in and have a discussion. So look for information on our Instagram. We're going to post information there of how to be a guest on the show.
Yep.
It's not going to just be like a random thing. We want people we want to know who's calling in and who wants to have some time on there.
Yeah.
So we'll have a list of people, and we'll get you the link.
It's kind of a reassessment, if you will. We're kind of
Yeah.
looking at Halloween Ends where we step back. It's 2 years ago now. We want to see, where is this film?
Yeah.
Do people still absolutely abhor it to death? Like, do they
Right.
freaking hate it? Have they come around to it? We want your true feelings, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, we're definitely going to talk about this movie too.
Oh, yeah.
But we want your true feelings and how you truly feel. This
Yeah.
is not a judgment call at all.
And see if things have changed for you or not
Yeah,
changed or whatever.
We're just taking the pulse.
That's it. Taking the pulse a little bit.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys, for listening. Hope you enjoyed the episode. We will see you in October. Make sure you tell all your friends and like and subscribe to us on YouTube if you can, and give us a rating over on Apple Podcasts if you can. It
Definitely.
really helps us out.
That absolutely helps us out.
All right. Enjoy your fall, guys. Take care.
Enjoy. Love you guys.
Thanks for listening.
You survived. Wasn't that a good fright? If you enjoyed the nostalgia trip, award us with a shiny 5-star review. Now it's safe to flip the lights back on and jump back to reality. See you again next time when we're once again alone in the dark.